Well, hello there, all you wonderful, beautiful people out there. Welcome to another edition of GuitarAmado here. I'm your host, Adam Amado. So let's go ahead and jump into today's little tidbit, little guitar theory tidbit here. First, I just want to kind of outline the chords. This is the way I'm thinking about it. To me, and especially in context with the rest of the song, it sounds like we're going to call this a G sharp minor chord to an F sharp major chord. Okay, and the reason I'm using sharps instead of flats, number one, guitar players tend to think in sharps more than flats. I know I do. And number two, I'm kind of visualizing this overall song in the key of B major. So anyway, looking at these chords, G sharp minor to an F sharp major, that's just the 6th chord and the 5 chord in the key of B major. All right, so that's pretty typical, use the 6th chord, it's the relative minor, down to the 5, that's the dominant, those are pretty strong chords within that key. So you'll notice though that the lick doesn't use the full chords. I'm just using the 5th string and the 2nd string here. I'm just plucking those 2 notes out of that whole chord. All right, so what is that interval? Well, it's a pretty big interval. It's bigger than an octave. So we take this minor scale here. See, we just went a full octave and we're still not there yet. Okay, so it's a couple notes past that octave. So if you're thinking of that octave as scale degree 1 again, 1, 2, 3. So it's just that minor third, but stretched out more than an octave, right? So we would call that a 10th, technically, because the octave would be 8, then scale degree 2 would be 9, scale degree 3 would be 10, and so on. So you're just kind of continuing this, and these are called compound intervals. They span more than an octave. So that's kind of just a quick way to think about it on the fretboard, though. Is just think about the scale that kind of encompasses that and play around with it that way. You can quickly figure out those intervals. So same thing, we're moving down to this F sharp major chord. So it's just the 5th string and 2nd string out of that. Same interval of a 10th, only this is a minor 10th, this is a major 10th. So now, what happens next? We got this little other part of the lick. That little slide up does fit within this F major, or F sharp major chord. It's the 1st string note of that chord shape. So when you slide up, kind of getting that in there, plus you're getting the 3rd of the F sharp chord. Okay, so it's just an extension of that F sharp major chord, but it sounds really cool as an ornament when you move that note to a different string, so you can slide that interval of a minor 10th. And then after we do that a couple times, the groove starts to pick up. Got the okay. So same 2 chords, but we're kind of playing around with the chord tones still a little bit more. So this original minor 10th here, going up to the next chord tone, which is the 5th of the chord, which would actually be the 12th. So still chord tones though, you're not getting too far out of the norm there. So you're still playing around there too with that same slide there. So still the same 2 chords, right? But it's kind of more like a groove, like so see there, I just moved the F sharp up to a different position. Same chords. So that's all I wanted to show you today, just kind of an interesting take on intervals themselves. So it's really cool sometimes to experiment with these larger chord shapes and just pulling out some individual intervals of the chord shapes. It's a really interesting way to kind of spice up and add some variety to your chord progressions. So be sure to leave me a comment below if you enjoyed this video, or if you have any suggestions for future videos, guitar theory stuff that you might want to learn. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video, and thanks for watching, and until then, happy practicing, my friend.